I'm so happy, oh, happy-go-lucky me. I just go my way, living every day. I don't worrying don't agree. Things that bother you never bother me. Things that bother you never bother me. I feel happy, I'm fine, ha-ha. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Having got a lot, I don't need a lot, coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Just take it from me, I'm just as free as any daughter. I do what I like, just what I like, and how I love it. I'm right here to stay when I want to stay. I'll be right in my prime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
So art at LM as a whole, what up with that?
What up with that? Well, I mean, I love it. I started, sort of hanging out in the art wing last year and found it to be just a place where I felt really comfortable. It's clear that the art students really form a strong community.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's behind you?
This is a self-portrait that I did on 4 different pieces of paper, and what I did, it sort of represents the conflict of a bunch of different self-states. So I originally, I did a bunch of sketches underneath the face of my body in various positions, and then I did just an inking of my face over the whole thing.
All right. What would you say is your inspiration for a lot of your artwork?
Well, I'm inspired by many different artists. I'm just fascinated by the different ways in which people manipulate the materials to, express themselves or express certain messages. Personally, for me, art is the main theme for me this year has been creating pieces that correspond to my own self-states and, sort of where I am in life, and different emotions will manifest themselves in maybe a scene. So, for example, this painting was very much tied to an emotional state of mind. This sculpture down here was tied to an emotional state of mind. And so sometimes that will manifest in an actual self-portrait, like this sculpture or, this big one on the grid. And sometimes it won't feature me in any way, but most of these paintings to me represent a self-state.
I'm too curious to let you go, but next time I see ya, I'll be in my summer clothes. And don't forget that I was by myself before, and I can feel you choke my heart.
So, what is what if you had to choose one? What would you say is your favorite piece of art in your setup here?
That's really hard. I like all of them for a lot of different reasons. I really like this because it's one of the first embroideries that I did, and I just really aesthetically, I really like the way it looks. I really like this one because I think it really sums up what I'm trying to go for in a lot of my pieces, as in kind of like the insignificance of social media and how I guess temporary it is, and I really kind of wanted to make that sort of awkwardness permanent. I guess.
Where did you come up with the idea? Like, did it just kind of come to you? Were you messing around or?
I've always liked to embroider, but I haven't done it, since I've been in high school at all. Like, I've kind of tried more like painting and charcoal, stuff like that. But then on a blog, I saw this one artist who weaves like giant looms of pictures she sees on Instagram, like crushed beer cans and stuff like that. So that was like very interesting to me, and I'm like, so what if I use like a very traditional medium to capture something that's very modern? And I really, really liked the idea. So I first did the Instagram cup. And then, I just kept running with it, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
What do you think it means to be an artist? / do you consider yourself one?
It's really interesting that you asked that, because I've been asking myself that question all year. I think to be an artist just means that you're creating art not only for the people who may see it, but also for yourself. And I suppose I would consider myself an artist in training. I don't think I'm quite established enough yet to actually call myself one.
You won't get much closer until you sacrifice it all. You won't get to taste it with your face against the wall. Get up and admit, show the power trapped within. Do just what you want to, and now stand up and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, if you had to choose one, what would you say is your favorite piece in this?
It's between these two. I think I'm gonna say this one. The reason is because it was my first like real piece with pastel, and it was like kind of the experimenting, and I just had a lot of fun doing it because I was experimenting with color. I didn't take any painting classes or anything, so this was my first time really utilizing that.
What's your fascination with hands?
Oh, well, it was my concentration for like the AP, because you have to have 12 pieces. Well, I didn't actually take the AP test, but it was like you had to have concentration, and that was it. I didn't start off with that. I think my first concentration was supposed to be like body parts, so I just I don't know what I was doing. I was like waiting for something to dry, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna start like doodling in charcoal. So I started drawing my friend's hands, I started off with this one. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like this, so I'm just going to continue. So then I just started doing more and more, and then it turned into this. So,
what's your favorite mode of making art? Like drawing, painting, anything?
Drawing,
like mosaics?
definitely.
Drawing?
I love mixed media. I've had a lot of fun doing that. Mixed media is probably my favorite art to just look at, but in terms of style, I really like drawing. That's like my favorite thing.
Right. What do you think of the whole artsy stereotype? Do you think that an artist tends to be a certain type of person? Do you think?
Just like kind of just a free thinker, just a really creative person. I think anyone can do art. Like myself, I didn't think of myself as an artist at all when I first started Art One. I kind of just wanted to do it, and then it turned out that I was like pretty good at it.
Had a talent.
So I think anyone can do art. You don't have to be like the artist to do it. It's pretty much just do what you want and develop it. And like any art can be art.
And what if you had to choose? Here, one sec. If you had to choose a favorite piece, what would it be? Can you point it out?
Definitely the dress, because it's the most complex thing that I've ever done. It took me a long time, and I put a lot of effort into it. And a lot of different things are going on. Like there's a lot of different techniques that I had to use to make it.
Like what?
So I had to cast the boots down at the bottom. I had to figure out how to make the structure inside to hold the dress up, so it's kind of like almost like a mannequin. And then I did the color for the dress, for the skirt part of the dress, and everything is separate. So it's the dress, the part underneath, the hat, the legs, the boots. So
How long did it take you?
a few months probably, 4 months maybe, something like that.
What made you decide to do it?
So we had to do a project that was inspired by like a famous piece of work, and so mine was inspired by The Girl with the Watering Can by Renoir, and it's something that I had hanging up in my room as a child. So I don't know, I just decided to go with it.
What makes metal arts the best?
I feel like, for me anyway, it comes to life more than if I'm just drawing something. It's more, first you draw it out, and it's a visual thing, but then it takes form, and you create something that's just more, I don't know, like, obviously you can hold it, but it's more personal to me, I guess.